Hi there, and welcome to Ian's ngauge channel. I'm Ian. In June's new arrivals video, I revealed that I'd purchased a product called No Oxide electrical contact grease. A number of people commented that they'd like to know how the product performs. So in this video, I thought I'd begin an experiment to find out. So here's what I'm going to do. In my experience, the biggest offenders when it comes to dirty track are sidings, as they see much less traffic than the main running lines. My test track has 3 main sidings, so I'm going to utilise them as follows. I'll clean one using only a track rubber, one using WD-40 electrical contact cleaner, and one using the No Oxide electrical contact grease. I'll then use my test track over a period of time using each of the sidings as equally as possible. As time passes, I'll monitor when the track in each siding requires cleaning again and will report on the results in part 2 of the video at some point in the future. So let me explain each of the track cleaning methods and share how I'm going to prepare each siding in more detail. When I returned to the hobby a few years ago, I used track rubbers from Pico and Gauge Master to clean my track. I think everyone nowadays probably starts off by cleaning their track using a track rubber. I say nowadays because when I started out in double gauge in the 1970s, the go-to track cleaning solution my dad used was methylated spirits, which, of course, is highly flammable and quite poisonous, so probably not the safest of things to have used in hindsight. Interestingly, it had quite an unique aroma that I still remember over 50 years later. But let's stick with the here and now. Before starting to clean the track, whatever method is used, it's safest to keep the track power switched off. Using a track rubber is a simple case of gently dragging it across the surface of the railheads in a back and forth motion. Because of the abrasive surface of the track rubber, it works by physically scraping dirt, grime and oxidation from the surface of the rails. While track rubbers provide a fairly cheap and easy method of cleaning track, their abrasive nature can cause the rails to become pitted and scratched, which provides an excellent breeding ground for dirt, grime and oxidation to thrive, which are of course the things we're trying to remove. There's also another problem, which I'll illustrate with an example. I'll use a Pico track rubber on this short piece of track for a couple of minutes, which is intended to simulate cleaning it over a period of, say, a few months. What you'll notice is, as the track rubber does its stuff, it begins to break down, and leaves quite a lot of residue behind on the baseboard. As my baseboard is made up of bright blue XPS foam, the tiny particles are very noticeable. However, for those with more realistically painted track road beds or ballasted track, this may be something you've been blissfully unaware of, as the build-up of discarded track rubber would be practically invisible. Initially, I began vacuuming up these particles to prevent them from making their way into my loco mechanisms. But I eventually sought out a better track cleaning solution, which is WD-40 electrical contact cleaner. My go-to track cleaner for the past couple of years has been WD-40 electrical contact cleaner. This is a fast-drying, non-conductive, non-abrasive spray cleaner that's designed to clean sensitive electronics and electrical equipment before completely evaporating. It can be used to remove dirt, dust, grime, flux residue and oxidation, which are exactly the same contaminants that build up on model railway track and impede electrical conductivity. To apply it, I wrap a lint-free cloth around an old, conveniently sized Pico track rubber. The lint-free cloths I use are lens cloths, which are cheap, washable and hence reusable. I spray some of the contact cleaner onto the cloth. I then press down firmly and wipe the cloth over the railheads in a back and forth motion. I usually repeat this at least twice for each section of track I'm cleaning. When finished, the cloth usually contains parallel lines of black residue, indicating that the dirt has been removed. In my experience, this method of cleaning the track works really well, but needs to be reapplied quite regularly, especially if you've not had trains running over sections of track for some time. And that's where I'm hoping that the No Oxide electrical contact grease will be able to help out. The No Oxide electrical contact grease works differently to the other two methods of track cleaning, which both rely on regular and frequent repeated applications. No Oxide is an electrical conductive grease that aims to prevent the formation of corrosive deposits on metal surfaces, and works by leaving a non-drying film that retains its properties indefinitely. Applying an extremely thin layer of the grease to the railheads will fill in any microscopic imperfections in their surface, which should ensure a better electrical connection between rail and loco. However, if too much grease is applied, it can reportedly cause problems with loco traction, and will also attract dust, which, of course, is counterproductive. Therefore, how the grease is applied to the railheads is extremely important. As I said earlier, No Oxide works differently and relies on the track being clean to begin with. So for this experiment, I'm first going to clean the track with the WD-40 contact cleaner method. Next, I'm going to use my finger to put a tiny amount of grease onto the rails. I'm sure you could use a bare finger to do this, but I elected to wear a vinyl glove. I rub my finger across the surface of each railhead and try and apply it as thinly as possible. The goal is to leave the grease as thin as possible and barely visible, which isn't that difficult given the state of my eyesight. I then gently wiped off any excess with a clean cloth. Remember, the ultimate goal of using this product is to reduce the amount of times that track cleaning needs to be performed, so I guess it's worth spending some time getting the initial application right. The methods of track cleaning I've outlined may vary in application, but they all have the same aim, which is to improve the electrical conductivity between the rails and the loco wheels. However, this won't be successful unless the locos running on the track have clean wheels too. So before starting the experiment, I picked out my test loco, which would be my ever-reliable Class 33 Temple Comb, and I cleaned its wheels. To do this, I used a Gauge Master locomotive wheel cleaning brush. This is a handy little gadget that sits on top of the track and passes power from the rails to the brass brushes on top of the device. Holding a loco's wheels on top of the brushes and applying power will set the wheels of the loco turning, and the brass brushes should remove any dirt that's built up on the wheels. Here I'm using the wheel cleaning brush on my programming track, just to make filming easier. I don't think the Class 33's wheels were particularly dirty to begin with, but it wouldn't hurt to use the wheel cleaner to give them a bit of a spruce up. Okay, so that's the track cleaning experiment started. I'll report back on my initial findings in a few weeks' time, but I suspect this is an experiment that could run for months, if not years. I know I've only gone into 3 track cleaning methods, and that there are many more, such as using surgical spirit, isopropyl alcohol, or the aforementioned methylated spirits, or even using these in combination with a specialised track cleaning wagon. If you want to try one of the methods I'm experimenting with in this video, I've left some links to the products I've used in the description. Please let me know what your method of track cleaning is, and tell me how successful it's been for you. Maybe I can add more methods to the experiment over time. Alternatively, if you've got any hints, tips, useful tools or techniques to pass on to a fellow Ngauge modeler, or if you simply want to say hello, then please do so in the comment section. Anything and everything you've got to say will be greatly appreciated. In the meantime, thanks ever so much for watching. Hopefully I'll have another update on my progress soon. Bye.